There's some great new base locations to find on Valguero, whether you're a fan of castle ruins, hiding away within caves, or a bona fide Tolkien fan. So here's 15 of them that you might want to check out. Coming in at number 1 is possibly my favourite on this list, straight out of the Fellowship of the Ring, made of course by Nakatis, who is most definitely a Lord of the Rings fan. A gorgeous centered piece which might make you a little bit familiar of the films of the Rings, with its own nearby waterfall path working towards it, and quite a small entry for small people, which might even count as a decent PvP location, which when bending round into the room opens into quite a sizable space. Big enough, certainly for players like me. I could definitely fit everything I think I'd need in here. Of course, raising could be a bit of an issue, but besides that, there's really enough space here. I would honestly expect this to be used as a PvP location as well. And as you might have noticed, you don't need foundations to place anything in here as well, which means no structural support on any of those expensive to craft pieces. Definitely will be my go-to base location when I get a chance to actually start playing on this, with not just 1 Hobbiton hole available, but 2 if you keep following the path all the way around to a slightly looking smaller one, but seemingly the same blueprint with the exact amount of space with this one available too. So if you've got a Samwise Gamgee, then you've got a neighbour for life. Up next is a base most people have shown off by now. It's a base most people can see as soon as you spawn in the map. You can't really miss this thing. A giant fortress in the centre of the map, and wow, what a fortress to live in. This, if you're unofficial, will already be preoccupied, I don't doubt for a second. A lot of space to work in, a giant open area at the front to hold all your breeders within, with 1 door entrance to access, working its way round through to a second open area which grants access to a back entrance which could go down to like a harbour or something like that, which then runs into your main building. And there's plenty of space in here to build what you need for definitely a decent sized tribe. Plenty of space in here for anyone, especially me, to build whatever I'm going to need, crafting wise at the very least anyway. Although this one does need foundations, it seems, in this building. But wow, what a spot. Not forgetting there's a top area, a top level to this as well, to put even more things in here if you need the space too. A wonderful Riverrun fortress for any tribe certainly wanting to play the PvE life off the bat. On to number 3 now, and this one definitely takes some notes from Rohan, from again Lord of the Rings, and once again a giant fortress with a lot of space to put all of your breeders in, with 1 door access to grant your entry within, bear riding statues guarding your entrance, and again a pretty massive space to reside within if you're planning to get anywhere near Blue Ob, with a gorgeous set of stairs running into the main building, which looks like a bit of a fixer-upper, but definitely again reminiscent of that scene in Lord of the Rings, with what's feeling like to me ample space once again to build what you need, with no requirement of foundations on this one. Adjacent hallways splitting off the main hall, with a gorgeous overview of Valguero's brand new biome Tundra. Maybe a bit of a cop-out this one because it was originally in the ASE version of Valguero, but there's a reason why I'm adding it, because a few new features have been added. And you might remember this one if you've played Fjordur especially, because this was the original Nurburg / Helm's Deep. Once again, a giant Lord of the Rings reference with its ramp access, centered walled off fortress, already raided broken waterfall entrance to the side to ramp you into a side exit, and a staircase moving its way into the main room. But originally in ASE, this was all you got, this space here, which it's not a bad space, but it's not exactly a 1 door entrance space. It's quite a giant space to enter within. But now, Nakatis has maybe taken on some feedback to offer a very small, tucked away, hidden area right at the back, granting access to another room with, well, quite enough space here to work with any small to medium tribe. Definitely no large tribe, I guess, but without a doubt, plenty of space for you to play with its own staircase access down to it. And to finish off the Lord of the Rings themes, a grand staircase that's going to grant you access to the top of something you might find familiar from a certain time scene in Lord of the Rings 2. as it traverses past a Grand Survivor statue and welcomes you to Weathertop, where Aragorn, of course, fended against the Wraiths and Frodo got jabbed by a Morgoth blade. Most certainly a fixer-upper, but a very cool ruin to reside within, a coliseum, if you will, that maybe you'll find some epic battles to showcase, to showdown with your friends, or turn into a prime base location, a circular base location, which we don't see enough of, with ample space and, because it's Weathertop, absolutely wonderful views of the entirety of Valguero if you decide to reside here. Tucked away deep in the jungle can be a very easy to miss ruin location, with staircase access granting your way up to it to reveal a, well, not a bad size base location, a ruin that can be patched up with a few easy walls, enough to build something within, with another staircase following its way up to another area where you'll find another ruin location to build within two. Decent size, quite a few access points you're going to need to block up as well, with it poking out around the back here to this open section here, back out to the wilderness with Therizina's on your doorstep, a wonderful thing to see. But if you reach and work your way round the top, you can make out somewhere hidden behind the trees is a giant monkey statue. Or I think it's a monkey head. It looks like a monkey head. So we're going to call this Kong's Kingdom, because Kong. Just adjacent from that is a place I'm dubbing Swamp Sentry, a very moderately sized home, but a ruin nonetheless, a brand new ruin nonetheless, that's definitely a fixer-upper with a few holes to clog up, but sizable enough for a solo to start within at the very least, with its own open roof access. And genuinely one cool key feature with this, that it's got a lovely open balcony and offers you a wonderful view of the swamp if you're a fan of looking upon death awaiting to snatch you at a moment's notice, because that would be a capro, right? Not too far west from that, on a remote island surrounded by beavers, is a lovely, wonderful ruin for you to reside within, which I'm dubbing the Beaver Reliever Island, because that's exactly what it is. A ruin that's certainly got no building to hide within, but a sizable fortress space with its own blueprint ready for you to build something upon. A decent amount of open area for your creatures, and the beauty with living in this location is if you simply just go and have a little stroll out into the lake nearby, you'll find plenty of certain paste-filled areas with beavers all swimming around this lake. So obviously be mindful that if you're building here, you don't want to be blocking off the paste locations and brassing off the entire server, right? But most definitely a gorgeous location that I can imagine a few people will definitely be racing for day one. Now, I don't recall this one being in ASE, and hopefully I'm not wrong, but if you follow this bridge over here in the Tundra and circle around to this location here, you'll find a cave. And within this cave, a sizable space to definitely occupy and build within. PvPers probably won't be a fan of this because of the giant open entrance to it, but it's a cave nonetheless, and a big cave at that, with plenty of space to occupy, plenty of space with water access right on your doorstep, so no problem getting your irrigation going off, and plenty of mammoths if you want to go meat and hide harvesting quickly, right? Definitely one of the smaller ones on this list, but does have a little win if you're struggling to build structures, because if you follow this staircase to the main building, with its only access being this route right here, will enter you into what I'm calling Redwood's Rook. That's not a massive space, no doubt about that. A staircase that rises to a square area that I guess you'd like to build there. Well, not exactly square, kind of square. Not really square at all. But what you'll notice with my character being aggroed on by flying ants is a structure being placed without the need of a foundation. That's right, this place grants that at the very least. And frankly, it's a gorgeous place to occupy if you want to overlook the redwoods, with plenty of water access once again, a stone's throw away from Red Obelisk, and perhaps one of the most picturesque scenes. I could see some really cool circular builds being built upon for those would-be creative builders. And most people have shown this one off as well. Latveria Castle, a grand place to live. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be racing for this one already. A wondrous spot to even traverse to with its own bridge access. Even Diplos want to live here. Works its way right around the castle walls, up a staircase, and works its way through to the castle grounds, where you'll see plenty of space to occupy a couple of cheeky buildings. We've got a small outhouse here on the right that you can start within, with its own fillable space that Diplo once again trying to get in, with even 2 rooms to this one with plenty to occupy. Moving back around into the castle grounds, up the staircase, up the side, you've got a giant castle wall that surrounds the entire thing. Moving over to a gorgeous Whiterun looking tree overlooking the Redwoods. Even the local apes want to live here. And a pretty sizable space to live within, with its own hallway. In one end, moving way to 2 staircase rooms that push all the way up into fantastic overlooks and giant spaces in their own right, with the other staircase pushing up into a second room, granting you plenty of space to work with here as well, and pushing up to another rook roof space as well. Plenty to work with here. A absolutely magnificent castle that I don't recall being at least looking anything like this in ASE. I think there might have been some ruins here originally, but this is most definitely a gorgeous base location. I can see a lot of players wanting to rush to. You may be racing for this one already if it's not already taken. I'd get in there fast if you want to get this one. And the next one will most definitely be a popular location too, being somewhat of an adaptation of the original spot on ASE, Marie's Minerals, because of the amount of purple hueish glowing crystals they've got within, opens into a giant cave space location for you to definitely reside within your own water pool area to throw your sea creatures in as well. Foliage, the lot. There's a giant amount of space in here that I can see a lot of players definitely wanting to take up if they like a little purple in their life. And PvPers, it might have a few tricks up its sleeve too, because if you push around into this little alcove corner here and then go straight up, turn around, you'll find a cheeky rat-hole-ish looking ledge up here that I guess a few PvPers wouldn't mind about living. Don't know whether this one could remain as a good cheeky rat-hole-ish spot or will be patched in the near future. But hey, it's got both. It's got space for PvEers, it's got space for PvPers right up there. Whichever you are, it might cater to you. Strangely, however, there is a lack of crystal to farm in here, but it does give you great access to the chalk hills, chalk valleys, chalk cliffs right next on your doorstep. Fancy yourself your own hidden waterfall base, a kind of standard for most ARK maps? Well, there's one here on Valguero. If you head into the snow and go to this waterfall here, you will find just halfway up a lovely cheeky alcove entrance into a not massive space, but definitely sizable for a small tribe at the very least. Going to be defending too well here if you're on PvP, but if you want to hide away in the snow at the very least, it's a nice spot. With a few cheeky holes going into the roof space here, but probably not enough to make anyone feel that safe. It's just kind of a nice, cool waterfall base location that I don't think was in ASE. I don't remember seeing this originally, and, you know, hidden waterfall base is hidden waterfall base, right? Who doesn't like these? One that I don't recall was ever in ASE, though, was a icy crypt hiding deep within the snow with its own temple-looking entrance covered in ice and white stony stuff that throws itself down a staircase and bends around into a cheeky little room that's not massive once again, but I kind of like this. I kind of like this spot. It's sizable enough for a solo, plenty of flat space to work with if you're not a fan of building on rough terrain. If you're a fan of ice, if you're a fan of the film Frozen, then this is definitely where you're going to let it go, right? Including with what I'd argue to be enough space to definitely raise any creatures you need. I think I could work with this one if I really wanted to, and if you wanted to, you can too. Another one I don't recall being in ASE, but certainly a fixer-upper, is once long forgotten temple that's now all decayed, battered and bruised, with a great big dirty ape being praised as the gods of this almighty location, as it overlooks a long forgotten temple that could be your home if you are a fan of Monkey 2. And that's all there really is to this. That's it. It's a very small ruin, but a ruin, new ruin nonetheless, so you know, had to make the list right. But to be fair, this one's really well hidden, believe it or not, being surrounded by redwood trees. I've in fact cleared a bunch of trees all the way around it. There's some lovely blossom trees around this thing too. And if you're part of Monkey Life, Wukong fans out there, this could certainly be the base location for you, right? And a 16th bonus location to show you too, that I haven't included because unofficial you won't be able to build here because it's an artifact cave, but it is hiding away perhaps one of the most golden, lovely, wholesome Easter eggs that deserves a special nod. Whilst it grants you access to the Skylord with some sea access required, I think it's somewhere down here below me right now. If you carry over to this location over here around the back, follow it through right round to this ruin here and enter through this door, you will find yourself to be greeted by a place called Milton's Grotto, which is a lovely shout out to Up From The Depths and his unfortunate passing away of his pet dog, and of course being part of the paleo team, a paleo Rex there too. A lovely little homage there with, as you can see, some bulb dogs and feather lights surrounding this place to tame as well. A lovely shout out to the dude. And maybe you can build here on unofficial if you've got the settings turned off. But yeah, I wanted to give this one a quick mention because definitely a touching thing to see without a doubt. And there you go. That's your 15 locations. Hopefully one of these caters to you. Hopefully one of these is going to be a place you're going to reside within. There's definitely one I'm planning to build in, so I'll see you there. Until then, my name's Raasclark. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And as always, peace out.